Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to play The Kid at the Back again. So, last time we technically got all souls CGs and crow CGs. I'm going to show you real quick. But we're missing two. So I think it's the other route that I did not choose where we'll go somewhere else. So we're going to go for that. This game is still in development and incomplete and may be prone to encountering some bugs and errors. Disclaimer: this game is rated 18+. Minors are strictly prevented from playing this game or engaging in any shape or form of the game. In no way, shape, or form, the creator condemns or accepts the illegal and horrible actions shown in the game made by the characters. This visual novel is made for creative adventure and is pure fiction and should not be romanticized or replicated in real life. It's highly discouraged. Warns: this game includes depictions of dark themes such as death, exiliving, assault, touching, applied abuse, and other themes that are maybe sensitive for some audience. You can see the full list of warnings here in the game's main menu. By agreeing to these terms, you're hereby allowing yourself to indulge with the game and its contents with full understanding that you're able to differentiate between fiction and reality. Are you sure you'd like to proceed? Yes. It was many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. Day 1, the Beloved. And I'm not playing I'm playing the more safe for work edition anyway, so because we cannot play the more in the other version and on the internet. So, and class dismissed. By the next meeting, I need a full report on everyone's poem that you have chosen. I will not accept one paragraph. I need 2 whole pages filled with words. Everyone got that? Okay, words. Does it have to be about the poem, though? The classroom broke into a series of yes, professors. Yes, professor. Well, some spend no time in packing their things, eager to be dismissed, and disregarding the teacher altogether. Your literature teacher packs up her own things and exits the classroom. The moment your literature teacher left, the classroom broke into small groups as each student gathered up to meet with their respective cliques. Some engaged in conversation while some spared no time in exiting the classroom. A yawn escaped your lips. You turn your head and observe the clouds outside. The clouds are shaded in a dark gray. The sky, once blue color, is now turning the same lighter shade of gray. The looming threat of rain made you click your tongue in irritation. Just my luck, I didn't bother to bring an umbrella too. I don't even bring an umbrella. Half the time, where I live is mostly sun anyway. Standing up from your seat, you were about to grab your bag when you felt a tap on your shoulder. Turning around, you came face to face with a cobalt blue eyes. Her blonde hair shaped like swirls, with the ends dyed in blue and pink, complementing her entire ensemble, even if it was just a white blouse and clearly looks too small for her. Her hot pink jacket around her waist, and her skull and the skull's black skirt. Her hand, which you assume was the one that tapped your shoulder, hung up in the air. She seemed unsure whether to continue or not, judging from the way her eyebrows furrowed downward while biting her glossed lower lip. She turned slightly, her head not fixed on you, but rather on whoever is behind her. You heard her whisper something under her breath before eventually composing herself and turning her focus solely on you now. Hey, you're going to lunch with us, right? I mean, you should. I don't usually see you in the cafeteria often, so you must not be eating properly. Brittany. Spoilers her name. How can you keep it up with classes looking like that? Excuse me? You took a step back, clenching the strap of your bag as you glare at the blonde woman before you. Who was this woman? Who does she think she is? Judging from the woman's expression, she finally came to realize the words that came out of her mouth. Brittany. A familiar voice interrupted the two of you. You turned your head to where the voice was, and there stood no other than your old friend. That's really insensitive of you. Imagine if someone else told you about how you look. His femoral orbs of azure blue, nearly replicating Olavar's. Okay, I'm not gonna pronounce it. And his chocolate brown hair tied loosely in a low braid. Sun-kissed skin enhanced his handsome features, adored with black, long-sleeved button-up and indigo vest to add to his clean look. He was known as Ichabod, Drasho Ichabod. Crow for short, the class representative and a close friend of yours. Well, the only close friend you have. Well, not for long. Okay, in some routes. I don't know what's going to happen in this route because I've never chose this one. Crow made his way to your side. With a hand on his hip, he recognized the blonde-haired woman next to you, and the said woman just shrugged her shoulders. You place a hand over your beating heart. The close proximity between you two caused a blush to appear on your cheeks. No matter how many times you get close to him, or him getting near you, you never get used to it. His whole aura just gives a warm feeling in you, the butterflies in your stomach thrashing and raging, begging to be released. Yeah, you may have a bit of a crush on him. The woman named Brittany just rolled her eyes, seemingly used to Crow's reprimands. Well, you're the one who insisted on me initiating talk. You could have done it more nicely now. Like a simple invite alone. Crow gives you a small smile while handing out something to you. You look down to see it. It was your ID. You dropped this, by the way. What's your name? This time, Lion. Your last name? Stark. It's an inside joke. The ID shows my name, Lion Stark, along with my pronouns. In high school, college, we would name do our nicknames as the Avengers, and I was Tony. Because one of my friends thought my last name read my last name as Stark instead of my actual last name. You stare at your own ID picture, and you see yourself more feminine. You use feminine terms, and will be called a girl, woman. You looked at your ID picture, seeing your young woman, and reading your name with your eyes. Name YN Stark. Pronoun she, her. Yes. And it's kind of funny because in this context, because your family's poor, I'm naming myself after my last name after a rich character. Your fingers briefly brush against his. You bit your lip, then muttering a small thank you before pocketing your school ID. Crow gives you a closed-eye smile, returning with his own thank you, then turns his attention back to Brittany. Following up behind Brittany are 3 more people. The tallest of the 3 is a sporty-looking man, clad in green and yellow jersey, with number 10 settled in front. His eyes are bright green, the color of that kind of reminds you of green apples. His skin is beautiful brown and nearly matches his curly hair, while a stubble is nestled in his chin, indicating his maturity. The second tallest is a man in purple hoodie. His eyes are sharp and slanted, with long lashes adorned with teal-colored orbs underneath. And he's intimidating. His hair is straight and styled into a hemicot, save for the short strand tied with a red ribbon and a low ponytail bound with the same shade of red behind him. He looks uninterested with what's going on around at this very moment. And the last but not least is the shortest of the 3, maybe within the group as well. Her skin pale, her face dotted with few freckles, then and there, as rectangular-shaped frames shield away orange orbs. Her hair is short and loose like waves. She wears a black button-up under an orange vest and a black skirt matching Brittany's. Darn, Britt! You sure are bad at socializing. Hey, Gio, seems like you have a competition. The tall jock, clad in yellow and green sports jersey, lets out a loud laugh, causing some students to turn to look at him. Brittany's face grew red from the embarrassment. Gritting her teeth, she crosses her arms while tapping her foot on the ground. This only made the jock laugh even harder. Shut the heck up, Daryl. You're causing a scene. Also, if you were me, you would have done just as badly. That is in fact not true. I'm a lovable guy. Well, next time, Daryl, you do it, then. Oh, yeah? As the 2 argue, you turn your head towards the other tall male in the hoodie. Sensing your gaze, he looks down at you, his hand still in his hoodie pocket. I do love his design. A sudden chill went down your spine. He's planning my murder. If I actually didn't know who the more psychotic, the yandere, I think he would. You quickly avert your gaze away from him, opposing male, and landing on the meek girl in orange right beside Brittany. She hasn't spoken since she arrived with the 2 males, but touching from how she attached she is to Brittany, your guess she's just closer to her than the rest of the group. She kind of reminds you of yourself when you were still new to the school, with no one to talk to. Not until Crow befriended you, of course. Were you as clinchy to Crow back then as she is with Brittany now? Sorry, they're kind of a rowdy bunch, huh? I hope you're not too overwhelmed. They sure are something. Look, YN, you're still free not to join us for lunch if you're uncomfortable. And meeting new people is overwhelming. I just wanted to let you know that I respect your feelings and that you matter, YN. Crow reassures you with a worried smile on his lips. You turn back to the group, the tall jock, named Daryl, now bothering Gio, with an arm around his shoulder. The visible irritation on Gio's face did nothing to sway Daryl's happy-go-lucky personality. Brittany leans on one of the desks with her arms crossed, striking a conversation with the bespectacled girl next to her. What's your name? I don't seem to catch it last time. Crow glances at where you're pointing at. Oh, Jessie? You can call her Jess for short. She's best friends with Brittany. She kind of reminds me of you back when we first met. All shy and quiet. Only that you're cuter. Aw. Chloe pinches your cheeks playfully, and you groan, but your mock annoyance is betrayed by a small smile that forms on your lips. How time flies, huh? That's right, you got yourself acquainted with Crow in your sophomore year. Before you left for the city, your father emphasized the importance of having companions and establishing friendships, most especially in this college. Olympia's University, the largest university in Titan City, is known for having the best facilities and the best education, where you're guaranteed to rise from the bottom to the top. Well, that's what the advertisement tells you. You're getting tired. You tried getting to know people during your first year, but to no avail. No matter how much you tried to make friends, you just couldn't seem to bring yourself to talk to anyone. And to your dismay, no one seemed to bar to even befriend you. Sure, you could talk with a few classmates for projects, but nothing goes beyond that. As if they're scared of you, or more like disgusted. You can never tell. The looks that you received have been mixed signals. Some bad, somehow pity. Yeah, I wouldn't like to school. That is until Crow came into the picture. Amongst everyone, Crow was the sole person who approached you with the intention of friendship. You were wary of him at first. Why would someone want to befriend you out of nowhere? Your past experiences caused you suspicion. You had a history with people who tried to earn your good graces because you were somehow beneficial to them. You thought Crow would be the same case, so you ignored him. But then he kept following you, trying to strike a conversation with you every now and then. You tried to dismiss him, ignoring his presence as usual, but Crow was determined to break down your walls and keep insisting on tagging along until it annoyed you more. Just once. That is until it happened the last day of your first trimester in your sophomore year. You fell victim to one of the school's biggest hidden flaws. If Crow wasn't there to stop you, you could not begin to imagine what might have happened to you. Pride being up, thank goodness you're unharmed. You're concerned about me? What about you? You're the one that's hurt. Thinking back, you thought he was crazy and stupid. Taking blow after blow until the perpetrators got bored and left the both of you. Well, that's the whole point, right? As long as you're not hurt, this is nothing. You're crazy, you know that? He just laughs it off, wincing due to the bruises on his face. I never got your name, crazy person. It's Ichiru Ichibod. But you could just call me Crow. Nice to meet you, Crow. I'm YN. You brought him to the clinic that day and became inseparable ever since. Right after the incident, Crow promised to never get into fights again and continues to keep his word on it. You really owe it to him. You look back at Crow. He tilts his head. Something on your mind, YN? Nothing. Just glad to have you as my friend. He looks at you with raised eyebrows, probably surprised at how random your thoughts seem. He didn't say anything as he let your words sink in, and his usual gentle smile appeared on his face. Crow inches closer to you, indicating that he feels the same way. Brittany must have taken notice of the amount of time wasted in talking and arguing as she turns to see you one last time. We're taking talk to a little too much. We'll end up not getting any seats if we keep this up. So are you coming with us or not? Cough in your little daydream about the past, Brittany finally spoke up, catching your attention. You look back at Crow, recalling his words. Don't force yourself to join if you're still uncomfortable. You didn't decide to. So we've already go with them to go to the library, but we have not gone to go somewhere else. You glance at the blonde-haired woman as she waits for your answer. You turn to Crow. He too was anticipating an answer from you as a nervous drop of sweat rolled down his temple. You got to be honest, Crow is right. All of this is still quite overwhelming to you. Throughout your years here, you only gotten used to Crow's presence and his alone. But then yesterday he introduced you to his new group of friends you didn't know he had. You're happy for him. You really are. But why does it feel like a lie whenever you tell yourself that? Why does your heart swell and your stomach churn from the thought of him not being by your side all the time? The horrible feeling of green envy and raging jealousy consumes you ever since the thought came across your mind. The sun lump made its way to your throat, hindering you from forming words, as you could feel your eyes fraying to water while your shoulders start to tremble. You need to get out of here. I need to go. Ryan? You ignore him and the group as you push him away, earning a shock look on both Brittany and Crow's faces. Ryan, wait! Darn, I didn't think Brittany would make someone cry by being so bad at communication. For Pete's sake, Daryl, shut up. I didn't mean it, okay? Well, I'm right, aren't I? I'm going after her. Huh? Ichabod! Crow didn't listen to his friends calling out his name, especially Geo, as he ran after Ryan, rushing out of the room, hoping to catch up to her. You shove through the sea of students, receiving some irritated looks. After pushing them aside, their looks don't matter to you, however, as you try to get out of the crowd as quickly as possible. Ryan, wait! Crow's booming voice behind you isn't helping you, rising anxiety, and your tears now slowly cascading down your cheeks. Ryan, please wait, what's wrong? Crow cries out for each breath he takes. You keep on ignoring him. You turn the corner, hoping to lose Crow in the crowd. The worried tone in his voice just makes your ache in your chest more and more painful. He didn't care how many floors you descended as you ran from one floor to another, nearly tripping on the skull's bad architecture. Before you knew it, you made it to the school's rooftop. Pressing an ear on the door, you don't hear Crow's call anymore, and you let out a breath that you've been holding. And then everything slowly crushes down on you. You fall down on your knees and hug them, not bothering with how dirty the floor is anymore. You look up at a few droplets of rain slowly drop down from the sky, a reflection of the salty tears now streaming your cheeks. I'm so pathetic. Crow is his own person. I feel so selfish to even think I'm his only friend like he is to me. Of course he can have other friends besides me. But why does it hurt? Is it because I'm just some nobody? All of them look so happy That's so cool, especially that Brittany girl. She's tall and pretty. Heck, I might mistake her for a model if it weren't for her uniform. She seems like Crow's type. Actually, we're Crow's type, but the familiar ugly feeling made its way to your chest. You tightly clench your fist to where your aching heart is. You want to rip it out in the open and toss it from the edge of the building. Will he leave me if he deems me unworthy? Was I ever worthy to be besides him? You can't think anymore. You don't want to think anymore. Tears now flooding your eyes as you sniffle down the sobs, and you bury your face on your knees as you cry your heart out. The rain now heavy, as if resonating with your sorrows. You have no idea how long you've been crying, but you run out of tears to shred, and have been staring at a blank space for a while now. Maybe it's time to head back. You look up at the dark skies. The rain's slightly calmer, but still not stopping its downpour. Standing up and dusting you back, you were about to grab the handful when you heard another voice from the other side. Your heartbeat quickens. You swore you were alone when you got here, and you were blocking the door the entire time, so someone coming in would be near impossible. You're curious how this individual managed to get past you. Maybe they were always there, or maybe they were just here before you. Who knows? Forgetting your original plan, you slowly approach the voice, making sure not to make too much noise as possible. Oh, here is, here you go. So as you expected, there's someone. A young man in a green vest, must be his uniform. Hair in a shade of light blue, like how they remind you of the skies before it darkened, tied into a low ponytail with a white ribbon. He seems to be in a deep conversation with whoever it was behind the phone he held in his ear. You can't hear the conversation he was having, much less understand what he's talking about. You assume he's speaking to a whole different. He's speaking in a whole new different language. You step back. You're guessing the student is a foreigner. Actually, that'll be so. Who could be a foreigner? It's kind of good to know for his backstory, because we need to find out more about everyone in the next update, because the next update will be almost the entire game, I think, saying that he seems to propose no fret. You were about to leave when you felt a hand grab your shoulder. You stood frozen on your spot as you felt a huff of breath fan your neck. Something cold and sharp touched the side of your throat, and you were no fool to understand quickly. That was a small knife he was fraying you with. Who are you? Speak. Speak unless you want to get yourself into big trouble. Let's see what happens if we stay silent. Stay silent. Not talking, huh? You have the right to remain silent. But in this case, I need you to talk. You feel a sharp edge of the knife cut through your skin. The stinging sensation made your head spin as you slowly started to breathing fast. In your state of panic, you tried to jab his abdomen with your elbow, hoping to catch him off guard. To escape, only to have him grab the same elbow and twist it behind your back, earning a loud squeal from you. I'm White and Stark from Class 4B. Please don't kill me. Yelp out. The hand on your shoulder went loose, and you feel him withdraw the knife. taking a chance to push yourself off of him, you turned around to face the blue-haired, knife-wielding student. You had an urge to throw a punch to his face. Instead, you didn't. Rather, what you came face to face with is a look of confusion across his face, and your hand under his chin. And the hand under his chin. He isn't even looking at you. How rude. Why, it's Dirk. Why does that name sound familiar? And Class 4B, too. Now is your chance. Wade's distracted by his own thoughts. Because your friend is yandere for me, you're pathetically threw a punch at him. He, however, merely catches you with your fist with a single palm, his other hand never leaving his chin as he keeps pondering over his thoughts. Why did you even bother? You were never the strongest in your family. I remember now. You swore he saw a light bulb lit up on top of his head. He lets go of your fist and pockets his tiny knife, which turns out to be a foldable pocket knife, and gives you a bright smile, as if he didn't just threaten your life just seconds ago. What, impeccable timing you have at the moment, Wyan. He puts his hands together like a prayer and bows down, double taking his sudden shift in attitude. I'm in need of your help. You see, I can't attend my next class due to some familiar emergency, and I promise my partner I'll be there. But seeing that you're in class 4B, can you take over for me? What? What? Who does this guy think he is? In what class? Your next class is art appreciation with Mr. Allen, correct? Yeah. And how does he know your next class is art appreciation with Mr. Allen? Oh, would explain why, Soul didn't have a art partner. Might have known that, Hugo's in the same class? Well, hold on. First of all, who the heck are you? Second, why do you have a pocket knife within the school campus? And third, why would I agree to your terms after you literally just threatened my life just like that? As if realizing the situation, he lets out a gasp, his mouth shaping an O. He fixes posture, then gives you a wink and thumbs up. The name's Hugo. Hugo Sugarmuto. I'm from class 4B, but I often have classes mixed with Mr. Allen to catch up with my missing subjects from my past years. This guy is a clear troublemaker. He just rubbed the back of his head and chuckles as he continues with his next questions. That's your next question. Taking out the pocket knife, he dangles it like some toy and presents it to you like the most exquisite, most fancy thing you ever laid your eyes on. You rolled your eyes. This? He waves a pocket knife left and right. Is for self-defense. The guards are quite crappy at their jobs, inspecting each bag. Things as little as these are easy to slip by. Plus, it's quite useful if you're ever in a pickle. We're in school grounds, just like scissors. Just use scissors like any other normal human being. It's like, stab people with the scissors, okay. He puts his tool back in his pockets. And as for your last question, his expression relaxed, his confused persona thrown out of the window as quickly as it came, his eyes now a bit serious with his gaze fixed on you. Do you have any friends, Wyan? Okay, that's kind of offended you a little bit. Yes, I do. Yeah, but don't you ever think you feel like you're not doing much for them? Oh, well, we're gonna be friends with your friend, right? Or okay, more friends probably. That made you shut your thoughts up. Not gonna lie, he's not really the best guy out there. He bobbers on with the thoughts of whoever his friend is, but judging from the way he talks, he seems to care for him, admire him even. But people tend to misunderstand him quite a lot. Heck, even I did. I thought I couldn't trust the guy with anything, like how you don't trust Crow with anything before. However, sorry for fraying you with a knife, Lion. But what I'm saying is, oftentimes I could never be there for him. I'm giving up on the thought of staying by his side. But you, however, can stay by his side. He's been stalking you. There was a gleam in his eyes, as you couldn't seem to decipher. Maybe you'll understand him. Get to the point. Please be his partner for your art class. I mean, we were partners for his art class no matter what. And he's down on his knees like a begging clown. The serious tone he had beforehand is now placed with a blabbering mouth, crybaby before you. Seriously, he had you fooled there for a hot second. Okay, I'll be your friend's art class partner. Get up. You mean it? Thank you, Wyan. I knew you were the right person. Just who is your friend of yours anyway? His name is Soul. Don't worry, you won't miss him. Without sparing you another second in trying to ask for more information from him, he gives you a friendly pat on the shoulder before leaning in and whispering, "Wipe your tears away, Wyan. Crying does not suit people like you." And with that, he goes down the stairs. You only stare at the now open door, your feet rooted on the cold tile floor from pure shock. How does he know I was crying? Well, I was in the building, so the top floor, the roof of us, maybe saw us. You were now walking down the hallway. A few students were heading to their respective classes, while some went to where the library was. Wyan, one heart attack after another, you swear this day refuses to give you a break. You aren't ready to face Crow yet. He probably is worried sick, especially with what you pulled minutes ago. Oh, more than minutes ago, it was lunchtime. You were probably lost in thought for too long that you suddenly felt arms wrap around you, Crow's face buried in the crook of your neck as he held you tight. His shoulders were shaking. There was no one else behind him. It was just you and him. I looked around the campus for you. Where have you been? You bite your lip, not giving him a chance to hear your voice. Crow pulls away from your neck and still kept his hold around you. You refused to look him straight in the eyes, and he didn't push you for it, already satisfied with you in his arms. A sigh escaped his lips. With one hand, he cups your cheek and rubs it with his thumb as he observes your red and sullen eyes. He bites his lower lip. A flash of regret made apparent within his eyes. Just then, behind the both of you, you hear a lone student call onto Crow's name. You swore that Crow's eyebrows arched and twitched in irritation. There you are, Ichabod. Your presence is required by the council. I don't care. What was that, Ichabod? I can't quite hear you. I'll be right there. Crow's eyes says, his back still facing the student. The student merely raised a brow, but didn't insist any further and walks away in the opposite direction. Crow, are you on there too? Just a tiny bit. Crow lets out a tired sigh as he returns his full attention to you. Give me a text once you're ready to work. Ready to talk. Pulling away. Hesitatingly, he rummages for something in his pockets before taking one of your hands and placing something in it. Without turning your head, you looked down and saw a handkerchief on your palm. I'll see you later, YN. He turns on his heel and moves to the same direction where the student from before had headed. Once he's gone from your sight, you squeeze his handkerchief and used it to wipe your cheeks, despite the salty tears that dried at this point. Pocketing the blue handkerchief, you slowly made your way to your next class. Barely making it to your next class, you slide the classroom door open, earning a few looks from the students inside the room. Turning to the podium, you exhaled a breath you didn't realize you were holding when you realized that your teacher was still absent. Fixing your composure, you scanned the room. A few easels and shelves filled with brushes and bottles stained with metallic paint guaranteed that you made it to the right class. Upon scanning the room, you thought back to what the guy who friended you with a knife on the knife promised you. I won't miss him. Huh? Well, that's the hard part. Everyone here looks like they're hard to stop. They're hard to stop from how colorful they all look, except for one. Typical art students with their colorful hair and looks and the way they dress, never heeding to the school's strict rules, since they never really affected by said rules. The liberty of a course not strict to academics. But you also took notice of some students who aren't in the course. You guessing they took the subject as a minor subject. So neither the sole character is an art student or a regular student. You gave up in your search and took your seat. In any case, you'll find out which one is sole once the class starts. Hearing the classroom door open, your art professor makes his way inside. His large, round belly standing out, round speckles sitting on top of his nose, and a stereotypical brown beret on his head. He looks just like a stereotypical artist. He greets the class before starting his lecture. Our exhibit project featuring various areas of art as part of our thesis. This time we're tasked with a specialism. Remember, this is all part of your paper, and not to mention making a name for yourself, of course. Oh, more like taking the credit of the student's work and using it to advertise your shitty school. You scoff at the thought. I mean, one curse word's not bad. Hope you all got a partner already by this time. For this term, I'm asking you all to create 3 works based on the exhibit's theme. This is where you want to throw your desk out the window. How could you forget? You weren't present during the previous meeting, and you're absolutely no one in this specific class. Well, we do know one person now. They said he wasn't gonna be here. Held us at knife point. Why were you taking art again? Oh, right. Your father was an artist, as he was a farmer. It was all for him, and maybe you could make a name for yourself. It was all for him, and maybe you can make a name for yourself with your art. With your works, if ever your life as a gardener wouldn't turn out to be the way it should. All part of a plan B, and if that fails, I got plans C and D. I haven't yet to make up the rest. Or guess I'll die. You shake away your silly thoughts, and the problem is now at hand. You do not have a partner to work with. We'll find his partner soon enough. Now, I want all of you to go to your chosen partner for this project, so I can start explaining your task. Eventually, you are forced out of your seat, since your seatmate's partner will be occupying it for the class. Now's the perfect time to look for the soul person Hugo was talking about. But up until now, you have no idea what he looks like. You're hoping he's a good person to work with, and won't put all the workload on you. Oh, don't worry about that. You shiver at the thought. You had enough of those kind of people in your life, especially during your retired college years. Unlike the rest of the class scurrying around to meet their partner, you were the only fool who was standing still. No, I'm the only one standing, because from the corner of the classroom, there's a single student not bothering to stand up from their seat. Their seatmate had left to pair with someone else, leaving a vacant spot. This guy might be Soul. Yeah, he is. Well, we'll find out soon enough. Is he not going to bother with his partner? Unless... Hey there! He looks up from his desk and looks at your approaching form before you eventually stand next to him. It's you. Oh, he's not hurt. Oh, yeah, he's still hurt. It's you. It seems like you're a bit lost there. Do you have a partner? No. Well, just your luck then, me neither. So, do you want to be partners? Sure, why not? He took the vacant seat right next to him. His books now tucked away and on his desk is now a pen and a piece of paper, simply ready to take notes. Hey, I never got to know your name. It's not quite porn. Well, I should at least know what to call you instead of Green Streak Guy. Or future boyfriend. He raised a brow at your silly nickname as you gave him before slightly shaking his head. Sullivan Burgermesa. But just call me Soul. Knew it! Actually, I already knew it, but... Soul. Soul means sun or brightness, right? Soul nods, rubbing the back of his head. You could say that. My mother gave me that name. It's a lovely name. Thanks. Well, I'm Wyan Stark. Nice to meet you. Finally know your name, Soul. Oh yeah, I met Hugo. Soul nods, with a smile forming on his lips, then returning his attention back to the professor. Free artworks to showcase. No, it has to be some form of expressionism. Mediums will be strictly traditional. Your partner then proceeds to give other partners for your professor then proceeds to give other partners for your project before leaving you and the rest of the class for the day. Just walks out of the classroom. Everyone in the classroom proceeds to talk with their partner, already brainstorming ideas on what they're going to showcase and hopefully could get a high grade. He turned to Soul as he took out his own charcoal pencil and his sketchpad for the class. You got any plans for our first display, Soul? Expressionism is about conveying one's feelings, right? The easiest for now is a portrait. Let's use your face as an example. My face? He lets out a low chuckle. There, you're making a cute expression right now. That can be considered expressionism. Huh? Cute? What are you talking about? He seems like he already has an idea on what to do. Yeah, because he's been stalking us. And judging from the half-filled sketchbook of his, he's quite familiar with the concept of art. Me, however, I'm not that great at art. I'm still quite a beginner. You're nothing to worry about. usual partner isn't much of an artist either. Your usual partner? Oh yeah, we get this. It's because it's changing. Oh yeah, I already had a signed partner for this class, but he ditched me at the last minute for some important family business. He never tells me that. Though. I'm not the type to pry either. Does your friend go by the name Hugo, perhaps? Yeah. How do you know? I met him during lunch. He was on the rooftop. Typical of him. It's like typical. Sorry, you got dragged into his mess of taking his place. You shook her head, telling him you don't mind one bit. You observe him as he goes on about his friend of his. Despite him shaking his head in annoyance, you could see the lingering sense of endearment in his words. Almost forgetting the fact that almost forgetting that Hugo threatened you with a knife back on the rooftop. But seeing Soul like that was actually cute. Slowly taking out your sketch pad, you begin to draw Soul's various expressions as he talks. And here I thought this guy would be the type to brood a lot. Guess I was wrong. Looks can be deceiving. Would you believe me if I tell you that guy is one of the top students in this entire class? He always is missing in action. Wait, what? How is he getting top marks? You raise a brow in mild curiosity, pencil still on the pad. Really? How? He doesn't seem that to be that kind of guy. Which part? Him being a top student or always missing in action? Shrugging, you continue on with your sketch. Soul, now taking notice of your scribbling on your sketchpad. Pause, proceeding to lean in a bit closer to your face, trying to pry the sketch pad off your hands. Were you drawing me this entire time? Yes. Stick figure. No. Liar. I thought I was supposed to be the one drawing you, not the other way around. With a huff, he leans back to his chair, crossing his arms in a process as a pout made its way to his face, biting the side of his cheek as his lip piercing reflects the room's artificial light. Oh, come on, it's not a big deal, Soul. You try to cheer him up. Plus, you look really cute. Soul's cheeks turn red. His eyes widen before shiftily averting his gaze from yours. The grip of his arm, tying, causing the sleeve of his shirt to winkle. Did you say something? Nothing. You sure mumble a lot. It's a habit. I'm not used to talking a lot. You keep talking about your friend Hugo. You seem to be so fond of him, regardless. Soul lets out a sigh, rubbing the back of his head at the thought. He knew you were right, and he knows he cannot deny that he was fond of his friend. His only friend. I owe him a lot, that's all. Enough about Hugo, though. Let's continue with our task. Alright. And I'm drawing, and that's final. You pout. He merely chuckles. Alright, Grumpy. You can't help but hold your gaze on Soul's face, the bandage on his cheek. Most specifically, judging from how much it's covered half his face, you guess it must have been a huge blow. You decide to question him. You fell down the stairs or something? What makes you say that? You point to the bandage on his cheek with the back of the pencil. He bit his lower lip, whirling his head a bit, trying to cover the bandage with his hair. You can say that. Nothing for you to worry about, though. I know what happened. We found out a couple of playthroughs ago. You're guessing he must be referring to the stairs heading towards the rooftop. Knowing those flight of stairs are quite unstable, there's a huge possibility that he must have fallen pretty hard and bad. He seems quite embarrassed by the thought alone. Though it couldn't help that there's more to the story than that. Or if he's actually telling the truth. Either way, you don't want to make him uncomfortable. Trying to focus on your sketch pad, you continue on with your sketch. Hope it gets better soon. Thanks. The sound of the school bell rang loudly outside the classroom wall. Singling in the class, your professor gives your class one last instruction before bidding his students goodbye. So tries to pry your sketch pad off your hands, probably wanting to get rid of the sketches you made of him while he's on his little tiny rant. However, you were quick to your feet and shoved your sketch pad to your sketch pad in your bag before he could get his hands on it. Soul gives you a pointy look before giving up eventually, and starts packing his things as well, proceeding to head out of the classroom, waiting for you by the door. Do you have a phone? We should exchange numbers and update each other, so that we can do the next 2 more tasks. Soul then takes out his own phone and asks for your number. You recite it out as he put it on his phone. Let me try to send you a message. You nod and look at your phone screen and saw a new notification from an unknown number. This must be Soul's. Sup? You typed so differently from how you look. From the corner of your eye, you see Soul's eyebrow raised at your text. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. You chuckle. He rolls his eyes. His stare lingers on his Soul's face. A smile is embellished on his handsome features while he looks at the block of text on his phone. You bite the bottom of your lip and recall the events that happened today. Formerly meeting Crow's group, nearly getting a death sentence by meeting Hugo, and then especially meeting Soul. Back then, you struggled to form friends throughout college, that you were convinced that you would be graduating without making a single connection, which would undoubtedly disappoint your father, and you were ready for it. You thought to yourself, there are people, eccentrics at most, all misunderstood people, all human, all the same. A sudden wave of determination washes over you. With a hand on your chest, you stare at Soul's orbs, making him tilt his head slightly. Soul, I want to be friends with you. I can sense the people tend to misunderstand you, your overall personality. Since I was told by Hugo. Soul is quiet. His gaze remains on you with a lingering curiosity. But let me be different. I want to know you. I want to understand you, Soul. If you let me. He blinks once, then twice, then chuckles. He puts a large hand on top of your head, then ruffles your hair. Alright then, let's make a mark today as the start of a wonderful friendship, Ryan Stark. You playfully push his hand off your head and nudge him on the shoulder. He lets out a small laugh at your poor attempt. And you too, Solven Burgermashia. Just Soul is fine, Ryan. Well, I need to get going. See you tomorrow? Oh, of course. See you tomorrow, Ryan. Giving Soul a wave of goodbye, you make your way towards the school's exit. My darling, my sweet darling Ryan. See you later, pumpkin. Aw. It's like, I know he's stalking us, but it's funny. I kind of like the name Pumpkin. As you walk through the hallway, your eyes caught on something on the nearby bulletin board. A Poster was plastered on the large board. Howl's Ball. Come enjoy the festive spirit of Howl's Eve. Halloween party, huh? Seems promising. Some vibration came from your pocket. Curious, you took out your phone, expecting another message from Soul. It was from Crow. Your heart leaped from your chest, recalling the events that happened earlier this afternoon. Can you meet me after class? I'll be at the front gate. You didn't send a reply. You turned off your phone and quickly made haste to the exit. You approached the school's gate, keeping an eye out for your friend. Sure enough, there stood Crow in all his glory, posture straight from his arms held behind his back nearly placed on the floor, and his foot tapping on the concrete floor nervously. You were growing nervous with each step you took as you drew closer and closer to him. When you reached his side and made your presence known with a small greeting, you noticed the way Crow's eyebrows raised in mid-surprise, as if not expecting you to actually show up before him. Now the real question is, are we gonna do the bad end or go through? Because I already did all the endings. I could just do the bad end again and see how it is saying that you know. He cleared his throat before composing himself properly, his body now facing in your direction. You want to see me? Yes, lifting his bag from the floor, he slings a strap over his shoulder and offers his hand hand for you to take. I'd like to take you somewhere. It's a bit near the park. I'll lead if you want. You let me. Take his hand. You took his hand. In return, Crow wraps his fingers around yours. His nervous smile melts into a genuine and happier one. Before he leads the both of you away from the school's gate into the streets. Or we go and try to do Souls again. By the time you and Crow made it to the park, it was already sundown, and stars slowly started painting the sky. Is this the place you're trying to lead me to, Crow? Not quite yet. Come here. You follow him through the thick bushes, and surprised to see a stony stairs through a bit run down. It still seemed sturdy to step on. Looking up, you see it lead somewhere above. You and Crow make your way to the stony stairs, some red and orange leaves coloring the steps as you and him avoid the few petals from the rain this morning. We're here. Come, it's a sight to behold. Taking one last step, you and Crow admire whatever was beyond him. His smile bright as his eyes tinkle like the stars above. Your eyes went wide in awe upon seeing the scenery before you, replicating the one Crow has on his face. Though I actually want to see what happens because you already met Hugo. Not once did you take into consideration the idea of sightseeing within the city. Everything felt unfamiliar, intimidating even. You couldn't blame yourself for feeling so distressed about the idea of traveling, especially since you had no one else within the city to guide you. But gazing in the sea of lights that stretched out before you, made you realize that you've been missing much of what the city has to offer. Looking down further ahead, you take a notice of the small tower decorated with bright neon pink lights. A little bit of it, a little bit to its right, a movie theater. Next to a mall, a row of other buildings with multicolored lights seemed endless. There's more. The more you scan the area, the more you see unfamiliar places that you didn't know existed. Your moment of silence, while admiring the city view, was interrupted by the sound of rustling grass. You turn around, find the source of the sound. Crow has made himself comfortable lying on the ground under an old tree. You see his backpack laying on its trunk. You turn your back from the city and walk to where Crow lay, designed to keep him company. His gaze on the starry sky shifts to you as you sit down beside him, and a hopeful smile grew on his face. Judging from your face all lighting up, you like this place, huh? Care to join me? Accepting an invitation, you give Crow a slight nod and brought joy to his eyes. You stretch a bit and lay on your back right next to him, fingers barely touching. You hear Crow look at the night sky. You observe how the stars twinkle as if the rain from the morning never happened. How did you manage to find this place? You tilt your head to look at him, and he gives you a closed-eyed chuckle before his twinkling gaze meets yours. I'll take it that you never heard of Lily's myth, have you, Wyan? Lily's myth? Crow points out to the old tree that stood above you, then returns his gaze to the stars. They say that this tree the humans came in contact with was blessed by the gods that guard this land. This very same tree here used to bear multiple fruits. They say that they never rot and are free for anyone to take. Of course, so of what the popular interpretation says anyway. There's other versions of the myth? Crow shrugs his shoulders, moving his gaze from the sky back to the tree. He stares at it as if trying to decipher something just by this mere look at it. There are other versions, yeah. Some say the fruits are actually poisonous. Others say it's actually only meant to be for the gods and no human must take from it. At least they be cursed. That sounds gruesome. It's no wonder they would rather use a lighter version of the myth. Or he would. A lot of myths use the darker one. Crow lets out a low chuckle at your statement, nodding a bit, as if agreeing with you. I guess that might be one of the reasons. Hey, Wyan. He pauses before speaking again. You perk an eyebrow at him. Yeah? This seems like a silly question. No. Weigh on me. Tell me what it is. Do you believe in gods? The question caught you by surprise. You never thought Crow as a religious type. More so to be interested in gods. Or maybe he was just curious by the idea of them. This may be the best moment to know for sure. Okay, I know it doesn't matter, so I do. They're the very beings that bless our land and soil. Back in my hometown, we would go to worship in our village patron's goddess church and pray for the good harvest. You recall your visits from the village temple with your father. Being regulars, you visited enough to the point where you became friends with some of those who reside within the church. Every time you dropped by to worship, you and your father would offer your healthiest crops to thank your patron. You haven't gone to the church in a while, probably because the city doesn't have a church with your patron divinity. Your goddess had more followers near your village, all the way to the south. Crow gives you a nod of understanding. How about you? Do you believe in gods? You turn to Crow, repeating the same question he asked you earlier. He scanned your face, your eyes, your nose, then your lips. His lingering gaze made you shrink back, your heart fluttering slightly. Crow seems to realize something to himself as he returns to his attention to the stars above and sighing. I don't. This surprises you, you, and Crow laughs as your visible shock and confusion. What? You didn't think I was a non-braver? If I had to be honest, no. Why so? You're kind of dressed like a priest. He kind of reminds me of the studious type. Crow's eyes grew wide as he broke out into the loudest laughs you have ever heard from him. He laughed so hard that he had to clench his stomach and wipe out the tears, strained corners of his eyes. He was still chuckling when he unbuttoned the first two studs of his black polo, revealing more of his collarbone to you. You quickly avert your eyes, finding the tree's leaves to be very interesting at this moment as you feel a familiar heat rush to your cheeks. How's that? Okay, how's that? West Farmer? For Pete's sake, Ichabod. It feels like I'm seeing a Victorian woman's ankles for the first time. Crow grins at your reaction. It took a lot of you. It took the both of you a few more seconds of going back and forth with his teasing and you repaying him before you finally calmed down. The next few moments were spent with you pointing at the stars and Crow teaching you the constellations with a gentle whisper-like voice. You both fell silent, basking in the peace of the night. As the silence prolonged, Crow fell deep in thought. And about today, Ryan, and about the guys? So we're moving to this conversation next, huh? I got to be honest, Daryl put me up on this little hangout while I was feeling down on the dumps. I think I do have to thank him for forcing me to actually give me the courage to talk to you after class. He lets out a breath he didn't know he was holding, refusing to meet your eyes. I don't know if I'm upsetting you by accidentally dragging you into this group. I probably should have told you about them a long time ago, huh? Kinda. I'm sorry, Ryan. You bite your lip. You expected that you might have upset Crow by making him think you did not like the group's presence at all. That he's forcing you to bend to his will. Crow, I could be just not liking, I could be introvert. One thing to know about Crow is that he's never the type to demand, to control, to be a king, to be a tyrant. You didn't do anything wrong, Crow. In fact, I should be the one to apologize. You speak up without thinking. Crow turns his head to look at you, his gaze swirling with confusion at your apology. I'm sorry for making you feel bad. I didn't mean to upset you, You swallow a lump in your throat, trying your best to hold the tears that were fraying to spill. I just thought you'd forget about me after. They're amazing people. Actually, I'm probably going to do the bad route. Brittany's pretty. Daryl's a funny guy. Gio's so cool, and Jess is loyal. They're a great group. And most importantly, you're amazing, Crow. You're all amazing. But me? I'm just not sure I could ever be part of the group. You're always hidden in the shadows, no matter how much you try to fit in. You're never to be considered. People treat you like someone to toss away, someone to use. You're worth nothing but extra. That's what she always tells you. You couldn't hold it back anymore. A sob escaped your lips, your vision slowly blurred as you feel wet droplets of tears finally sliding down your cheeks from your eyes. For a moment you saw a panic in Crow's expression, seemingly not expecting you to burst into tears. He reaches out to hold your hand, and suddenly you feel a pair of arms circling around you as he pulls you closer to him, letting you sob in his shoulder. He says nothing while rubbing a hand along your back, allowing you to cry, not caring about his clothes getting wet from your tears. Once you calm down, Crow rests his hand on your back, not letting you out of his embrace. You're amazing, Wyan. I'm sorry. I never get to tell you that no matter how many times I thought of it. I just couldn't seem to find the words. But you're amazing in your own way, Wyan. You may not know it, but you're beautiful, you're funny, and you're quite phenomenal. You could feel vibrations coming from his chest, from the chuckle he emits. Heck, you're the funniest person I know. And I'm saying this, Wyan, is that you're amazing. You have no idea how much tears you shed tonight. Sometimes you think it's silly and childish to cry over what was probably a trivial matter to some, but an urge to sob returns after hearing those words from him. Do you want me to call you the Amazing Spider-Man to prove that you are amazing? That makes you giggle a bit as you wipe your tear-stained cheeks. With whatever strength you can muster, you slowly pull away and lift yourself up. You sit yourself up, hovering over Crow, and there you see the very same man that made you cry by literally doing nothing. His braid came loose, you didn't know then, but his hair pulled around his head. Crow stares at you, with sincere eyes remaining silent as a gentle smile plastered on his face. There was nothing but the moon illuminating his tender features. At your vision, he seems to grow. He's absolutely beautiful. But how you wish you could blame him, everything on him. It's like, I can't really blame him. If you could, you would tell him that he's the reason for all the unnecessary feelings swelling in your chest. You could tell him exactly how good and bad it feels, the heart aches, the butterflies fluttering from your stomach. You won't blame him. But you can't. Well, you can because he is the cause. Kiss him. You have no idea where you got the guts to do the thing you did next, but the feeling from his lips pressed on yours, with the butterflies howling in your stomach, ready to burst out of their cage. Your heart beats faster, like you just ran the marathon, as you feel the heat rush to your cheeks. And we're sorry, Crow. Crow freezes against you, and for a moment there, you thought you just made a huge mistake. You prepared to pull away, apologize but he makes a move, and you did not expect. A gentle grip that Crow had on the small of your back shitters its way to the back of your head, fingers intertwining with your hair as he pushes you closer to him, returning the kiss with a flavored sense of desperation. His other hand holds your wrist in a tight brace, not wanting to let you go. Out of your own surprise, you break the kiss by pulling away slightly. Crow chases after you, leaning close to capture your lips in a deep and more passionate manner than before. You feel like a putty in his brace as he cups your cheek with one hand, his lips needily asking for more access to yours. In response, you shut your eyes tight and your arms come to wrap around his shoulders, grabbing his desire by tilting your head against his. The both of you lose all senses of the world as you feel deep into the sensation of your lips against each other. Eventually pulling away string of saliva connecting the lips of your lips to his own. His breath was heavy, matching yours, and you behold his red face and hair messier than before. He tucks away a stray strand of hair behind your ear before running your cheek with his thumb. Crow scans your dismayed figure. Above him, you could see the way his eyes dilute the longer he keeps his gaze on your face. I knew we were going stargazing tonight, but I didn't expect the brightest star to be right in front of me. Aw, you giggle as his cheeky pickup line. God, I like you, Ryan. I liked you the first time I laid my eyes upon you. I couldn't tell you because I was scared I might lose whatever we have at the moment, but I would lose you. I couldn't bear to live a life without you. Crow, I like you too. I liked you ever since too. You chuckle at the silly thought you recall, the way you've been doubting his feelings. And then you got to Gare. His eyes grew wide, jaw falling slack as he tries to comprehend the words that came out of your lips. He blinked once, twice, but before a smile as bright as the stars above appears on his face. Is this a dream? I hope not. If I'm in a dream, please tell the sleeping me to never wake up. Crow, I think that means something that might happen. I want to live in this dream forever. We probably should have done this. I feel for him. Will this convince you it's not a dream? He leaned closer to his face, placing a peck on his cheek. Maybe, but I think this would definitely convince me. He catches his lips swiftly, distracting you from when he moves in to bury his face in the crook of your neck to nibble at the soft flesh you gasp. Crow, spray bottle. Now people will know you're mine. Hey now, sound like yandere, and our yanderes might be after you now. Crow laughs out hefty as your reaction, and you simply roll your eyes. You couldn't stay mad at him. He just off the grass that sticks in his shirt before giving you a once-over, and gently swats away the leaves from your hair and clothes. You get up and Crow retrieves his bag, almost forgotten by the tree. He looks back at you, taking your hand silently. It was time to go. It was time to leave the magical place. You look at the stars and how brightly they shone. You give the sky one last glance before turning away, hand clasped tightly around Crow as you let him lead you home. Crow walks to your apartment, knowing that he kept you out late at night. You bid Crow goodbye, and after he safely sees you inside, he gives you a wave before turning on his heel and making his way down the stairs. You close your apartment door and lean on it, having a puff of air. You recall the conversation you had with Crow while you walk with him on the street leading you to your home. I'm going to give the guys a chance. I think I judged them too quickly. So I want to do better. I want to get to know them better. If you trust them, then I'll trust them too. Crow's expression was the surprise of your declaration as your determined face reflects on his orbs. Crow chuckles at your enthusiasm, giving you a friendly pat on the head. I'm glad you're giving them a chance, Ryan. I'm sure will feel the same. You engage in other conversations with Crow during your walk, the topics not really being of any pertinence, as you've forgotten them by now, save for his gentle voice and the occasional fond glances he stole at you. Time with Crow seemed to pass by so quickly, you arrive at your apartment complex before you knew it. Make your way to the living room and throw your skull bag into a random corner, immediately popping down on your sofa as you turn on the small television. Nothing interesting is going to save you from save for some food commercials and movie trailers. That pizza looks good. Maybe I should order something. Reaching to your pocket and taking out your phone, you were about to dial the number of the television when a new notification popped up on your notification bar. It was from a group chat you'd never been seen before. After looking at it, you realized that it was Crow who added you in. It was a group chat with the rest of his friends. He opened it. Anyone want to go to the Halloween party this Friday? It's gonna be awesome. Aren't we all a bit too old for the costume parties? Is it required? No. You two are no fun at all. I won't go if it's not a school requirement. Good kill. Much less a waste of my time. Is it? No, it isn't. But it'll be a great and fun experience for us all. I mean, we should loosen up a bit. Would you? A bit, you know? I agree with Crow. Count me in. Pass. I got more important things to do than that party. Now, will you excuse me? I'm doing my leftover task for tonight. Jill has gone offline. She's a stick in the mud as usual. How about you, Ian? Me? You joining? It'll be fun. You were honestly surprised that they somehow remembered you. Checking your calendar for your phone, you didn't seem to have any plans in the nearby future, or plans at all. You like to spend your time in your apartment alone. I'm sure. That's great to hear. Crow seems happy about it. You giggled. That also reminds you of something. Or rather someone. Opening another chat, you tap in Soul's newly added contact and sent him a message by sending the image of the same poster Daryl sent. A Halloween party hosted by the Skull? Yeah. I'm not quite into parties. Oh, that's alright. Just asking, that's all. Still siping. Wait, if you're coming, then I'm coming too as well. Our stalker. Oh wait, we're doing bad then. Really? Really? Do you plan on dressing up? I don't know, do you? I mean, it's a costume party, so why not? I'll try to think of something then. You swear you could feel a smile behind those words. It was a quick word of goodbye, and you set your phone down when you heard your doorbell. Must be the food delivery. Afterwards, you eat your dinner and prepare yourself for bed. You thought about the events that happened today. Me and the group, me and Soul, and most especially your little hangout with Crow. Each and every moment is special occasion in its own. Laying out a big yawn as you stretch your body. You churn your laundry slowly, piling up and scratch your head. We'll probably do laundry tomorrow. But for now, you plop down on your soft cushions of your bed, getting into a comfortable position and slowly dozing off as you close your eyes, embracing sleep as the night goes. And this mating she lived with no other thought than to love and to be loved by me, the one who loves. I was a child, she was a child, in the kingdom by the sea. Day 2, the kingdom. The following day, the first thing you do is to look for Crow, who's missing. However, when you try asking some students for his whereabouts, nobody seems to know where he went. You tried sending him a message to his phone, but he never received a single reply. Much less having your messages to be put on read. You eventually meet up with Brittany. She seems to be one of the few people closest to Crow, so it was best to talk about him with her. Joshua? No, I haven't seen him. Do you know anyone else that might have an idea where he is? Me? Brittany ponders for a bit with a manicured fingernail on her chin before shaking her head no. I already asked for the rest of the guys. Heck, even Gio doesn't even know where he is, and that guy's close to the hip with him. But he said he's coming to school today. Don't tell me he ditched last minute. Bullcrap. He would always send me or anyone in the group a text whenever something came up. Heck, knowing that guy, he would probably send you a text first. Yeah. He deflated, but it gives you a worried look. Trying to think of something else that could possibly help you. Maybe you should try checking the counsel's office. Taking her advice, you thank her and proceed to leave the classroom she was in. He did as Brittany suggested, but much to your dismay and frustration, not a single one in the council knows where Crow is. Classes eventually start, but you didn't attend. Too determined to know where Crow could have possibly been, you rack your brains as you walk over the school grounds. You were probably too angry to rise. You made it all the way to the gardens, the place where you usually work. You scratch your head from the frustration, taking out your phone inside to give his number a ring. It was still dead silent. You decide to walk even deeper into the gardens, until eventually you meet with a familiar chain fence indicating the school's campus borders, barricading you in the forest just beyond it. You rang Crow's number one last time. Ring, ring. It rang a few more rings before cutting off. You check your phone, thinking that he somehow finally picked it up, but he was met with disappointing notification that was out of service. You tried one last time. There's a faint ring in the distance, but it's not within the gardens. It's coming from outside. Did he get himself lost? How? But how? As far as I know, this place is all boarded up. Well, because he was dragged in there, putting your phone in your pocket. You look up and stare at the metal edges of the fence, shielding your eyes from the sunlight hitting your face. You bite your lip. You could climb up, but if you fail, you'll probably have a sprain if you're not careful enough. Without wasting any more time, you start climbing the fence again, chain fence, your fingers shaking from anxiety as the opposing height came upon reaching the edge. Going over the other side, you slowly make your way down, still keeping a tight hold on the fence. Whoa. Crap. That is until somehow you manage to slip on your footing and cause you to fall down back first. A groan escapes your lips. Your back now itching from the sudden impact of the fall, making you lie there, waiting for the pain to subside a little. You pat down your pockets, reaching for your phone inside. You feel your heart drop at your stomach, and you behold it. My phone! Crap! I'm such a moron. You curse, seeing the visible crack on the screen as your mobile device. Turning on, you vomit another string of colorful curses as your phone screen glitches heavily before eventually turning black. Crap, it's useless now. Was it now a paperweight? Shoving your broken phone back in your pocket, you slowly get up to your feet. You look around. If Crow was somewhere here, then you better start looking around. Hopefully you can try to remember your way back into the campus grounds. Your heart accelerates as you walk deeper into the forest. You've never been here. It was uncharted territory to you. You didn't even know what dangers lurked. You scan the area around you, the thicket seemingly getting thicker and hard to maneuver. You see nothing but the ornate savor your overgrown bushes and vines crawling on the dirt floor. If these don't get tended to, someone will surely trip. Well, we're outside of school, in the forest. I don't think someone's going to tend to it. You're about to give up your search when you notice something in the corner of your eye. The familiar shade of Crow's indigo vest torn to pieces. You feel your heart drop, the air suddenly feeling suffocating. Your legs wobbling their way to the torn pieces, hoping that was some sort of cushion or some kind of sick coincidence. But no, it was exactly Crow's vest, all torn and broken. You search around the area one last time, eyes keener than before, hoping that this might have been some kind of prank someone pulled on you. Until your eyes land on a strange, broken down shed. Well, I don't like the looks of this. Clutching the torn fabric close to your chest, you hastily make your way to the shed. Thoughts of Crow evade your mind as you ignore all the warnings waving in your face. The moment you came in face to face with the shed, your nose picked up on something bad. The smell of iron, the smell of blood. You guard the broken door open. It won't budge. Crap, open you up, you will. You look around for something to pry the door open. An axe. A lone axe was sticking near the tree trunk. Gathering strength, you pick it up by its hinges, nearly knocking yourself down with it. Dragging the iron axe to the front door, you swing it open, breaking the wooden door piece by piece until a hole forms into it. The smell is now stronger than it was before, making you scrunch up your nose. One last blow, and the door falls, scattered pieces of wood now hang by its hinges as you entered the room. You feel your soul leave your body. The strength of your legs disappeared as you dropped to your knees, the pool of blood staining your skin. The iron smelling liquid, thick texture, made you feel pure disgust as shivers run down your spine. No. No. Please. God, this couldn't be happening. You want to rip your heart out of your chest. You want to burn this whole force to ash. Before you lay Crow's corpse, his head is barely attached to his shoulders, and you can clearly see the gapping energy left by something sharp on his neck. Probably the thing I'm holding. His hair cut too. Blood drips from the deep cut, the red liquid pulling around his wife's body. His eyes were wide open, and your gaze at him, wishing, prying, and hoping that his vibrant orbs would smile at you again. But no, his eyes remained dull, soulless. You murmur his name over and over again, asking him to get up, to talk to you, to see you, tell you what happened. But he didn't. You hear footsteps behind you, accompanied by the clanking of metal before something drops to the ground. You swiftly turn around, meeting the eyes of someone you never expected to be here. A pair of fiery red orbs grew wide like saucers. At their owner beholds your slumped body-strained figure. His figure reveals a mix of surprise, dread, and panic. Lion? No, you shouldn't be here. You need to leave. He pleas fell on deaf ears. Instead, you stare at the bloody hand axe that he dropped. His equally bloody hands and his dark shirt wet with red liquid. He reeks of blood. He killed him. He killed Crow. You killed him. Didn't you, Soul? Soul bit his tongue, refusing to answer your questions as he stayed quiet. You could see the way his jaws clenched, his expression now filled with rage. He was going to take you away from me. I'm only doing something I wish I should have done years ago. So you're not even going to deny it? Nope. I would never lie to you, Wyan. So he's been stalking us since we've started school, huh? But why? Why did you do this? Because I love you, Wyan. I'm not letting that butthole take you away from me. You mine alone. You were taken back by his declaration of love towards you. It left a disgusting taste in your mouth. How dare he taint the word love? How dare he throw it around like it's an object? You monster! What? You lunge at him, aiming for his neck, and pushing him down on the dirt ground. He crawls at your hands, not expecting your sudden strength, as you unbuckle his choker, pulling on the strap and using it to choke him. You mean nothing to me. I don't even know you. You love me? I loved him. He was everything to me. He was my savior, my first love, my everything. But do you know about me? How do you know about me? You must pay for what you've done. Soul couldn't muster a single word as you kept pulling at the strap around his neck. Your vision fills with red, and your desire to take revenge overwhelms you. The strength in your hand weakens as Soul loses air. As soon as you felt something sharp, something painful, you looked down, expecting to see your successful revenge for your classmate's face, but the lights remain in his eyes. Instead, it's filled with horror. You cough, blood sleeps through your lips. You look further down and see a sharp blade for your chest. The object swiftly disappears after someone pulls it out from your body. Blood slowly gushes out of your wound. You feel someone push you down. A pair of hands moves your body. You couldn't care less as you stare at the dusty ceiling of the worn-out shed, your vision slowly darkening. From the corner of your eye, you can make out a blurry figure of a man you came to befriend the day before. A few droplets of something wet spatters on your cheek. He's crying. Wyan, stay, no, please, stay with me. Another figure enters your faded vision, and Soul takes notice of them. You recognize the blade and their gasp as they wipe it clean of your blood. You're a killer. Soul gets into argument with the guy, his muffled screams ripping them. You could barely hear the person's response as they calmly speak with Soul. Keeping your eyes open is getting tiring. Breathing is getting tiring. With one last breath, you flutter your eyes closed. The last thing you hear are these exact words. No witnesses. Bad end, no witnesses. And we played the bad end again, but if you like my content, please subscribe, like, help out, and comment down below. See you guys next time.